Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this clip we're going to look at nuts and bolts. So basically we have a bolt here and a nut. This one's an M8 thread and the nut fits on, it's turned clockwise, and as it turns it tightens up. Usually these are tightened using a spanner, so we use a spanner to tighten the bolt there. They come in different shapes and sizes, so we're going to have a look at some different ones here. Now, strictly speaking, this is a bolt because it has a thread and then it has a shouldered part here. This one here is a set screw, often still called a bolt, and this is done up, and this one will just thread all the way along. So basically, when we're using this to join a piece of metal, we take a piece of metal here, we'd drill a hole through, we'd push our bolt through, we'd take the second piece of metal that we want to fit to it, and generally we'd put on something like this. Now this is what we call a spring washer, and the washer here is made of sprung steel, and these two edges, if you can see that, they push into the surface underneath, so there, and they push into the nut, and once they're tightened, so if we tighten that up, turn it, and then if we take our spanner, the spanner on there, the spanner here, and we tighten that up, and we can see that the spring washer is collapsed and the two pieces are fixed together very securely. So that is a standard nut and a bolt. Sometimes if a part is vibrating a lot, it will be fitted with a nylock nut. Now if we look at this nut has a blue nylon ring inside. If we take a look at this bigger one, you can see, so there's the blue nylon ring. This nylon ring doesn't have a thread in it, but once the bolt is entered in, so if we look on this large bolt, once this thread comes up through here, as the thread comes up, it will start to cut there. I can't turn that now without a spanner, but it will start to cut the thread into the nylon, and that will hold it and will only then be undone with a spanner. Sometimes for temporary fixings we can use a wing nut. A wing nut is just done up there, doesn't go on top, it just goes on instead of the nut, and then just finger tight. For something that you need to undo and tighten up several times would be a wing nut. So there's our wing nut. Now the different heads. Here we have a standard hex head. Here we have a posi-drive head. So if we look at this, this would be this kind of fitting that fits in there and can be used in a screwdriver to turn the bolt. So we've got a screw head there, and also available are Allen or hex headed bolts. So if we look at that one, and we can see that can be turned using an Allen screw, an Allen key. So the Allen key turns and tightens the thread. So we've looked at bolts, we've looked at nuts, we've looked at here's a different hex head hit there. So this is what we call a cap head hex head there. I think different sizes, but perhaps the same size hex. And last of all, we have a countersunk head. Now the countersunk is special because it has a wedge part here, and we can use a special tool here called a countersink in a drill, and if we take our piece of metal here, and just move this over to here, and we can drill with our countersink and then that hole's slightly too large, and then our bolt can be fitted and fit. If you look at this one, nice. I don't know if you can see that there, but our screw is flush fitting to our work, so that we haven't got any fitting on the top here. So joining metal using nuts, bolts and washers. Thank you for watching. And that is nuts, bolts and washers. Thank you for watching Mr. Ridley's YouTube channel, and goodbye.